like the Anket. The Anket can give you strength. Anyway, hi, Airmed here, carrying on this recap. As soon as we stepped foot into Kamoy, we had to do a supply run and hunt for a place to stay for the night. We made a friend in the local tavern named Billy. We offered her to come with us on our journey to start afresh somewhere new. She had a lot of debt. The next morning, the party heads off into the desert and quickly starts running from a giant sandworm and then a friggin' dragon! We tried to hide but ended up falling through the sand and into a cavern. While exploring, we stumbled across a small fiend named Nair, who escorted us through. We get attacked by some mummies, and Maxwell gets cursed by one. Somehow we are magically transported to ancient Kamoy, and we've just interrupted a ceremony where someone is chosen as the new beginning. A title with a lot of perks to, well, begin again. For some unknown reason, the High Priestess chooses me. And as soon as I roll over the shock, we begin to question, how do we get back home? We began talking to some people we met, like Senu and the High Priest and a little girl named Rocky. Senu tells us that we need 3 sacrificial items to go home. The ring of a noble woman, the staff of the High Priest, and a jar owned by a local goddess. We divide and kind of conquer? Yeah, Maxwell and Aspen go to a pool party with the goddesses and attempt to gain her favor. And they kind of do, because she heals Maxwell's mummy's curse. And then he just abandons her. He abandoned her. A goddess! Anyway, I go to the temple to offer aid to the High Priest to try to get close to him. Varys tries to learn to swim, and Arabella spends more time with Senu. The same evening, everyone, except for Airmed, who is still at the temple, goes to the noble lady's house of Senu. Arabella invited him along. The noble lady turns out to be a harpy, and Senu reveals himself to be an angel, hiding among the people. We dispatched the harpy and did some minor surgery to retrieve a ring that was embedded in her collarbone. After we return to base, we thank Senu for his help and give him the ring to keep safe. Airmed tells the party that the High Priest is willing to exchange the title of the new beginning to someone else, and that the ceremony will take place in 3 days, thus giving the party an expedited timeline to obtain the jar and the staff. After agreeing to get the staff after the ceremony, Maxwell receives a message from the abandoned goddess requesting an audience with us the next day. So we head to bed, and in the morning search for an I'm sorry present for the goddess, and we head to her temple. When we arrive, we are faced with an epic celestial, and told to prove why we're even worthy of living. Maxwell makes a heartfelt speech that wins her over, and the celestial transforms into the goddess, and she tells Maxwell that she knows his patron personally. A work colleague, but more than a relative. She then bestows gifts upon us all, and in return for revealing her true intentions and telling her about the items we need to return home, she hands over the jar. With the second item in hand, we head back to base. And with 2 days to kill until we can get the staff, Airmed has a crisis of a face and locks herself away. Varys and Maxwell solidify their relationship. Arabella spends as much time as she can with Senu, and Aspen trains. We all somehow end up stargazing in the desert together. Oh, and Varys blooms into a new season. See what I did there? No, okay. On our final day in ancient Kamoy, we prepare for the day, collect Nair, and hunt for Rocky, who hasn't been seen for a few days. After asking around, we find out that she was seen walking out of the city with a vacant expression on her face. So we contact Senu for help, who also brings the High Priest. Apparently Senu went behind our backs and told the High Priest everything. Luckily, the High Priest seems okay with it, and says that losing his staff is a small price to pay to return us home, because we are messing with the fabric of time. We traveled east to an oasis, which only the High Priest can access, and it's here that the ritual will take place. But before it can, Senu and the High Priest are attacked by a giant sandworm and carried away. Just our luck. The party follows soon after, when the floor gives way beneath them, again, and we find ourselves in a flooded underground cave. An entity begins to talk and expresses that they want to travel through the portal with us, and they're holding Rocky as leverage. We refuse to give in to these demands, and a fight breaks out. Turns out we fought an evil alien entity with a ton of sharp teeth and our ugly sea witch attendants, one of whom kills Rocky before we can do anything. Feeling desperate, Maxwell summons his patron to join the fight and asks if she's able to do anything. So she grabs Senu and he revives Rocky, bringing her back to complete the ritual of the new beginning. Afterwards, Senu opens a portal for us to go back to our time. Whilst we say our goodbyes and thank yous and wish Rocky all the luck as the rightful new beginning, Arabella has a long, sorrowful goodbye with Senu. She promises him that she won't forget him and that he will always be in her heart. And with one last look on the past, we step into the present. How in the name of the elements did all that happen in less than a week?